Welcome, my fabulous lab techs. So today I want to show you how to use this crazy stack paper cutter. So it's a guillotine paper cutter, so it's meant for cutting large stacks of paper. So I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So first off, I've got, I'll let you know what size paper it is you're trying to create, and I've got a list right here that says what it is. So I've already cut stacks like this, and these stacks from here to here are 8 1/4. I already set this to 8 1/4, but now we need to cut it down a little bit. Now we need to cut it down this way, okay? So this way we need it to be 10 3/4. So just depending on what it is that we're doing, that's how we're gonna decide. So 0 is over here, and then it gets bigger that way. So I'm gonna loosen this up by twisting up here, and I'm gonna scoot this over to exactly 10 3/4. And if you're not sure where that is, if you're not sure what size you're supposed to make, just ask me. But now you gotta tighten the bejesus out of this thing. Okay, so this needs to not move, and it's gonna have a bunch of heavy paper on it, so it's really important that it kind of is real nice and solid. So once you have that, make sure that the stack that you're cutting is all kind of even. You're gonna add it in here. Now I'm gonna tap it on the side here, and especially at the bottoms, we wanna make sure that this is nice and even and as square as possible. So we want it all tapped in here. Okay. So once we're okay, that looks pretty good. And again, if you're not sure, just ask me. There's this little twirly thing down here, and we gotta make it go all the way down. And then we wanna really tighten it, okay? This is gonna hold that stack of paper from shifting while we're cutting. And it's really important that we get it real nice and tight. So you might have to use 2 hands. That's why it has the handle the way it has it. Now, the stack cutter, it puts a lot of pressure on the blade. So it's really important that no one's fingers are underneath here when you go to use it. And the company thought about that. So there's a release right here. So this bar, you can't pull down on it unless the release has been released. And they did that on purpose because if your hand is under here, you can't pull on it. You got to use this hand to release it, and this hand gets it started. Once it's started, you can let go. So you can put 2 hands of pressure on it. But you can see it cut through that whole giant stack. So I got all these little, basically bookmarks now. So I've got all these things left over now. So I would take all those out. I'm gonna release, undo this just a little bit. You don't have to go all the way up, especially if your stacks are all the same height. I wouldn't do a bigger stack. Oh, see how this one? So this last page, I didn't push quite hard enough to get it all the way through the last page. Just set it to the side. But I know all these stacks are basically the same height. So I can just, set it in here, and then now I don't have to twirl this quite as much, okay? So there you go. That's how you use the giant paper stack cutter. All right, thanks everybody.